Why do you think people in the media think you're not a good leader or that you're not a leader?
I'm not as charismatic as my peers. I don't have a personality that's like fit for TV like my peers, and a lot of those stories of what we talk about don't get spoken about in the media, and that's just really what it is. It's like you gotta sell what you're doing as well.
Facts, you really do. The way the NBA is set up today, you really got to sell it. You see Anthony Edwards, he looks like a leader on television, but then when you see some of the comments he made about the All-Star game, just not understanding that he's one of the figureheads and you can't downplay that All-Star weekend while at the same time your league is trying to pitch it to streaming companies to buy it or to buy certain segments and try to get a bag out of it. So even though he's selling it, you see him making media members laugh, very charismatic. He seems like a leader, but certain actions show you, he's not really thinking with 2020 hindsight. And it's a failed thing across multiple industries and sectors of society, understanding leadership. They kind of approach it on a one-size-fits-all spectrum. But this past era with LeBron James and KD and Stephen Curry, they're showing you that there's different types of leaders. Stephen Curry, no doubt, is a leader. The fact that he let KD come to the team and he was willing to play second fiddle, even though the person who seemed to be most uncomfortable in their role ended up being KD. But Durant does show leadership in his actions as far as his dedication to the game, but as far as him being stoic, especially with the Twitter fingers, and also mainly, he should have ignored the noise about him being in Golden State, because in reality, the Warriors were the perfect place for Durant to actually exist. So there are certain stoic qualities that he is missing, and it doesn't mean that he's not a leader. Once again, leadership is always kind of approach on a one-size-fits-all spectrum. But Kevin Durant throughout his career has shown that he's missing a bit of the stoicism. The following Kyrie to Brooklyn, making your announcement, even though you're the top free agent, he made his announcement after Kyrie, and even on his exit kind of played out the same way. Kyrie asked out and then he asked out, even though he just signed a brand new 4-year extension. So there's a lot of holes in his jacket that takes away from him being stoic.
I haven't sold it enough, and I feel like I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like I want people to call me a leader, but I also don't want people to say I'm not one either. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't see.
Man, KD, fuck what people think, man. Just do you. God damn. This is the problem with social media. It actually exposed what bothered KD. And that's always been his biggest mistake. You're showing your fucking cards, so people are just going to continuously troll you, because that's what mainly social media is. There's a lot of trolling. We're in the troll era. That's one of the reasons why the media tends to not like Kawhi Leonard, because he's not on social media. He's not exposing what he likes or don't like. They can't really get to his head. They can't bother him. They don't know how he feels. If KD had more of that aura, along with his dedication to the game, they will look at him kind of more as a leader.
You got to sell what you're doing as well, and I haven't sold it enough, and I feel like I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like I want people to call me a leader, but I also don't want people to say I'm not one either. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't see what goes on behind the scenes or what I talk about or my intentions or the relationships that I built with my teammates and support staff. But when guys like that say that, I just got to chalk it up to them just not being aware of what goes on, instead of like wanting to, push a narrative for myself. Maybe not a narrative, or tell the truth for myself. Or expose the truth on how great of a leader I am. I don't feel like it's necessary. I'll just chalk it up to those guys not being aware of who I am.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be okay with that. And that's where KD has to find comfortability in that. Just as he's comfortable enough to reflect on his career with Rich Kleiman right here. But again, we're in an era now where it's great to see players have a nice medium where they could truly be themselves and kind of give the NBA audience a bit more insight. Because when we reflect on KD's career, he is one of those top tier players of all time. But like any other player, he's a product of his era. So it is what it is. We'll see if he could bring a championship to Phoenix and leave no doubts in the mind of the very same people who put an asterisk next to his name. But hey, that's all we have for today. You fellas definitely hit up the mailbag with any questions. And until next time, peace.